podcast show as well. And his show is just about to become syndicated at multiple places. And, he's a no-nonsense, very conservative kind of guy. And we had a pretty good conversation all in all. He was on for a little over an hour. And that was the most recent broadcast. So you guys are welcome to check those out. I highly recommend that you do. What's the worst that can happen? Listen for a little while and then decide whatever. But I think it's well worthwhile, and I think you'll enjoy hearing these gentlemen. And, I appreciate them taking their time to come on the show. Now, while we're on a somewhat related issue, here's an interesting story involving medical breakthroughs that I thought you guys might find interesting. I noticed this was starting to pick up steam today. I came across the story a couple of days ago. But evidently, there's an old, ancient Anglo-Saxon remedy that now is being used. It's been tested, I should say, and it seems to be very effective against MRSA. MRSA, however they want to pronounce it. MRSA. The superbug that's going around and nobody seems to be able to deal with. At any rate, turns out that it has something to do with crop leek and garlic, equal amounts. You grind them together. You take wine and bullock's gall. You mix it with the leek. You let it stand 9 days in a brass vessel. So goes this roughly 1,000-year-old recipe that was used to vanquish a type of infected eyelash follicle. Now, the medieval medics might have actually been onto something, because the modern-day recreation of this remedy seems to alleviate infections caused by the bacteria that are usually responsible for styes. The work might ultimately help create drugs for hard-to-treat skin infections. The project was born when a microbiologist at the University of Nottingham in the UK got talking to Christina Lee, an Anglo-Saxon scholar. They decided to test a recipe from the Old English medical compendium called Ballard's Leech Book. And anyway, this book is housed in the British Library, so they took a look at it and they decided to work on this project. Some of the ingredients, such as copper from the brass vessel, kill bacteria grown in a dish, but it was unknown if they would work on a real infection or how they would even combine. So they sourced authentic ingredients. That, of course, was a major challenge, according to the folks that worked on the project. They had to hope for the best with the leeks and the garlic, because modern crop varieties are likely to be quite different from the ancient ones. Even those branded as heritage tend to be a bit different in the modern age. As far as the wine that they used, they got an organic vintage from a historic English vineyard. As brass vessels would be hard to sterilize and would, of course, be expensive, they used glass bottles instead. Now, these glass bottles had squares of brass sheets immersed into the mixture. Now, the bullock's gall was easy, as cow's bile salts are solid, and, of course, they're sold as a supplement for people who have had their gallbladders removed. Now, after 9 days of stewing, the potion had killed all of the soil bacteria included by the leek and the garlic. Now, it was self-sterilizing, and that was the first inkling that this crazy idea might just have some merit. A side effect was that it made the lab smell of garlic. It was not unpleasant, according to the lab folks. It is, of course, all edible stuff, and everyone thought we were making lunch. The potion was tested on scraps of skin taken from mice infected with different types of resistant Staphylococcus. This, of course, is an antibiotic-resistant version of the bacteria that causes styes, more commonly known as the hospital superbug MRSA. The potion killed 90% of the bacteria. The antibiotic generally used for MRSA kills roughly about the same proportion when it's added to the skin scrapes. So the bottom line is, this ancient recipe seems to have been able to do the trick. Now, unexpectedly, the ingredients had little effect unless they were all brought together. The big challenge is trying to find out why that combination works. According to Steve Diggle, one of the researchers, do the components work in synergy, or do they trigger the formation of new potent compounds? Ultimately, that's the question. Using exactly the right method also seems to be crucial, as another group tried to recreate the remedy back in 2005 and found that their potion failed to kill bacteria grown in a dish. With the 9-day waiting period, the preparation turned into a kind of loathsome, odoriferous slime. That, according to Michael Drault of Wheaton College in Norton, Massachusetts, just in case you're wondering. Now, if the 19th century recipe does lead to new drugs, they might be useful against MRSA skin infections, such as those that cause foot ulcers in people with diabetes. These are usually antibiotic resistant. However, he doesn't necessarily recommend that people try this at home. It wouldn't be the first time that a modern drug would be derived from an ancient manuscript. The widely used drug artemisinin was discovered by scouring historical Chinese medical texts. Anyway, Harrison is due to present the research at the Society for General Microbiology conference in Birmingham, UK, this week. So basically, what we have is a little bit of knowledge coming from way old school. Anyway, always keeping an eye on historical stuff and keeping an eye on science and especially health. I find it very interesting that something like this pops up. Like I said, I saw this story making its way around a little more today. So something tells me that over the course of the next few weeks, you're going to see this popping up a little more often. Not just in social media, but it'll probably get some television airplay, especially after they have this conference. Anyway, at this point, going to take a quick break, and when we get back, let's talk about some of these religious freedom laws and the freak out on the left. We'll be right back. Stay with me.
I'm looking for a miracle. Looking for a miracle. Angel looking over me. Just a breath of hope to see. I'm looking for a miracle. Looking for a miracle. Open up the doors for me. Looking forward to eternity. I were you and you were me, and we were us and us were we.